it's been, what, a month? Something like that. We're all back from holidays and vacations and whatnot. Back for episode 11 of Almost a Party. So we're getting into it. And the last episode was quite the ending to kind of leave on for a month as everybody was recovering from their near death experiences. But they met Shadow, and they got the chance to level up at the end of the session. So we are going to go ahead and jump back in today. So, how's everybody doing? Everybody doing good?
Mm-hmm. It was a quite nice holiday season. Ramping up for a new one. Quite excited.
I have had Indian
Enjoyed
food
quite a
today.
bit of turkey.
Oh, nice. Good, good. All right. So we last left our players in the remnants of a large battle defending the town mayor in the town of Kuche. The assault of several gnolls from the shattered dust came, and they fought through waves of enemies, only for Shadow to show up and down them all with a quick blast of thunder. Shadow then disappeared into the room where the mayor was hiding, and the players, upon searching, discovered that both Shadow and the mayor were gone. So, you are there in the basement of the town hall. Gnoll bodies scattered about. The mayor missing. What would you like to do?
Ore is having a little bit of a crisis of faith at the moment, thinking that he's failed considerably, considering his only real task so far is protect this guy and do what the council says, and he feels devastated. So he is going to find a nice little corner and he's going to start making a prayer to Thalia. And if possible, does this count as a short rest? Because we haven't rested yet. This has been like minutes, right?
You have not rested yet. This is, been just a couple minutes since the end of the battle. You searching, finding that the mayor and Shadow are gone.
And realistically, we
Yeah,
probably should not rest in the small enclosed underground space when they know we're here.
Is it anybody else's ears ringing? Mine are ringing. That was a big thunderclap, blacked out, crawling around. Is it just me? Your guys' ears ringing?
Ito is just kind of visibly very angry.
Ore
Sadzi
just starts
is.
going,
Sorry, I was going to say
go ahead,
Sadzi's
son.
beyond pissed because she figures this that Shadow probably had something to do with the captives that they found previously. And so she's muttering to herself and kind of stomping around.
Ito,
That's what I was
after
going to say Ore was doing. He's doing the same thing, muttering in the corner. Sorry, go ahead, Ito.
Yep. So after a moment of just being supremely annoyed, well, perhaps not annoyed, but he's going to look around and ask if anyone saw and can describe to him whoever cast that spell. Because he did not see the figure.
I feel like Mazeki could probably describe him, right? He caught him for a couple seconds before he got blown up.
Yeah, Ore could definitely do the best, being that Ore
That's true.
wasn't caught in the blast.
Yeah, the moment you asked that question, Ore kind of perks up. It was a tabaxi. He had orange and stripes. He was not afraid of us at all. Is the darkness still cast in the middle of the room?
The darkness has subsided.
Okay. When he cast his spell that put you all down, I saw him. I have no frame of reference for any being that I have seen
It was
that
Shadow.
discouraging.
Ito just kind of cuts off Ore near the end, and he's just like, that that was Shadow. Because, I mean, he's seen Shadow before, and just the general description, like, he already suspected based on it being a similar spell that knocked him out, and then the description was close enough that he's fairly certain. And this just makes him all the more angry.
All right. So,
Save him.
it's quiet. You're not sure entirely if that's due to the ringing in your ears from the spell, or if the city and the world itself has gone silent in the event of your failure. You take a moment as you're all sitting there doing your individual prayers. Mizeki, you
Yes.
hear in your head a voice. That was too close. I can't let you go. It is my chance for freedom for you. Have you thought about the offer?
I have, and I think I only have several small conditions.
Well, let's talk.
Alrighty then, let's talk. First, you're not getting my soul because it belongs to my goddess, and you can't beat her. I don't feel like that's really in question, but I won't approve of you trying. Second, I would prefer if you didn't randomly attempt to undermine me because, as you can see, I am easy to kill. And third, I would like your help in ensuring that that bastard dies. After that, things are rather much more open.
Is he saying this aloud, or is he just saying this
No,
to himself?
very much no. He's saying it in his head. He's figured out he can talk to it privately, and this is a time when he would not do this aloud.
The voice pauses for a moment and it goes, in order to give you the power, you must surrender your soul. At least partially.
I can accept partially. Great men must do terrible things often to save good people.
He goes, do we have a deal?
I really would love to do the cosmic equivalent of crossing my fingers behind my back, but I don't think there's anything that works like that. We do.
At this point, the other four of you, so Ore, Alandiel, Sadzi, and Ito, you watch as Mizeki vanishes from your circle, and a small brass ring falls to the ground. I would like the four of you to go ahead and deafen for now. We'll send a message when it's time.
Okay. Okay.
Mizeki, you find yourself in a room, empty, with round walls on either side, curving all the way around. As you begin to think about what should fill this room, it gradually begins to fill in.
Ooh. As soon as he discovers that, he's making a really big bed, like a laying down horse bed. And that'll probably fill up most of the room.
As you continue walking around this area, as you come to about 180 degrees around the circle from where you started, you see standing before you a rather large, blue-skinned individual wearing just some cloth around his waist. He has white hair that billows up in the wind. It's nice to meet you. Face to face. Well, kind of. This is your place of rest. When you need a place to retreat, you may enter in here. It is modeled after the area that I am trapped. But, as I'm sure you've discovered, you can design this any way that you wish.
His name was Twister, right?
Do you ask him that, or are you just asking?
No, I'm asking you, the DM, because I have it noted as that, but I don't remember if that was right.
That was the name that he gave you.
That he gave, yeah. Okay, so he's gonna go on his own. So he's gonna offer out a hand. Do you still want me to call you Twister, or do you prefer something a bit more grandiose?
He goes, "My name is Valeris."
It is a pleasure to finally meet you, also partially in person. I look forward to a successful working together.
He goes, "Please approach."
And Mizeki will. He's basically accepted that this is a deal now.
All right. As you approach, he reaches out his hand, and his finger is about the size of your arm. And he just touches you with the index finger. And you feel this surge of power and energy flow through your body. And just like when you first put on the ring, all of the wind begins to billow around you, blowing your hair and your clothes. As you concentrate for a moment, you gain control over it and can cease it and start it up at will. He goes,
He's definitely going to do this a couple times just for fun.
"You now have a little of my power within you and can control it. When we face that tabaxi again, we will destroy him.
That we will.
Now, your friends are probably panicking. So, let's send you back." And he
Appreciated. I'll handle it.
puts up his hand, and the ring vanishes that you're inside. Let's have you go ahead and deafen, and we'll unmute everybody else.
Okay.
All right, so as everybody is unmuting here, we need Sadzi still. There we go. So, you all watch as Mizeki vanishes, and just a small brass ring falls where he stood.
I rush over to the ring and kind of guard anybody else from touching it, and I shout out, "There's more afoot here. Do not touch the ring." And he just starts staring at it, trying to figure out a way to get it off the ground and like into his bag.
Did he like just blink out of existence, or is there like a little bit of like phasey like smoke transition, like a poof, or was he just like there one moment and just gone completely?
There one
bad?
moment, gone the next, completely. No indication that anything was about to happen.
Dang.
Ito definitely has his weapon out and is looking around.
No, that thing was cursed. I don't think I. Well, just
Well,
don't touch it.
does anybody know what just happened there? He was there? No, not. Ito, did you see anything like
I
this
think we
happen?
need
The closest approximation would be portals. I don't think this is the same because he didn't move anywhere and the ring was left behind.
It ate him.
I'm going to pull out an ink pen from my bag and I'm going to gently slide it through the ring so I can put the ring in my bag as carefully as possible without actually making contact with the ring.
Dude, put it in a bag in
Once
your
it's in my
bag so you
bag,
don't accidentally put it on or like get it on your finger when reaching into your bag.
right, like I'm putting it in like a pouch inside my bag and just kind
Yeah.
of very delicately doing this.
Double bag
The
that.
moment it's in my bag, yeah, the moment it's in my bag, I look up at everyone else and I'm like, we should vacate here as soon as possible. We may have other visitors very soon. And then start just grabbing the rest of my gear, making sure I'm ready to go out that door. And then I rush to the archway at the beginning of this stairwell, looking to see if there's anybody else coming down.
Okay. You
I want as he does that, I'll look around and be like, did he hide anywhere? And let's kind of look around like, is this one of his tricks? It's either a trick or the ring, one of the two. I'm gonna look around and see if he's hiding.
all right?
Yeah,
You look
Ito is also looking
around
around.
and you see no sign of Mizeki anywhere.
Yeah, the ring ate him.
Also, out of character talk, I feel like rushing outside is not what I want to do right now when I am basically at the end of all my resources and at around half health.
Slowly. We'll peek. Don't run outdoors. But move
Oh no,
slow.
just to the archway, the entry of the stairwell, just to see if there's any other movement of anything else coming down.
So there's no movement coming down the stairs. There are several dead bodies in this room, as well as the two broken statues of the lion and the suit of armor.
Let's
Is it a usable suit of armor?
No, it was stone.
Dang it.
I want to look and see if they have anything fancy on them worth taking.
So
They won't need it anymore.
yeah,
Fair.
none of the gnolls have anything fancy on them. They just have spears on them and
Eh.
crude leather armor.
Eh.
Ore will quickly snatch one of the other ever-burning lanterns just from right there in that the the room that still has them lit, since the stairwell had them all doused, right?
You guys took them out of the stairwell.
Oh, that's fine. I'll snag one that we took out of the stairwell and use it as just a handheld torch to lighten up the space as we start. As I start heading slowly up the stairs, being very, very cautious of any other movement.
Okay. As you begin making your way up the stairs, you feel a breeze around you. The other three of you following behind see Mizeki appear right behind Ore.
Does it rip my bag?
No.
What the actual shit just happened?
I exist again.
Ito is still very concerned, though he does lower his weapon slightly.
You do notice that Mizeki is still wearing the small brass ring.
Check your bag and make sure if it's in there.
Once he appears, Ore is going to go in like a surprise defensive stance with primal savagery, getting ready to attack whoever just appeared right behind him. Once he realizes that Mizeki, he's just going to retract the barbs back into his finger, and then once you say that, I start going for my bag to see if the ring is there.
Okay.
Mizeki's going to immediately quip. Well, that was interesting.
Where did you even go?
Ore,
don't-
the ring is still in your bag.
Don't have an exact answer to that question.
Can you take the ring off?
This is very surprising, but I think urgently we need to vacate this premises first. We should have this conversation shortly. And then Ore is going to continue working his way slowly up the stairs.
All right. As you finish your way upstairs and emerge into the town hall proper, you see that all of the windows in the office are broken in where people came in. There are several dead null bodies, including one of the guards that you met who was protecting the mayor. The other one you do not see of the two.
I rush to the guard and check and see if there's any kind of a pulse or any opportunity to possibly bring him back. I'm sure we've long since expired our time to do that, but Ore is going to do that first.
Yeah, there is no indication of life.
Ore is going to just do like a really quick prayer to himself, and then again kind of bring his attention back up, looking for anybody else like coming at us.
And Ore, did you pull out the ring from your bag?
I did not. I just checked to see if it was there. I saw that it was there, but Ore is like compartmentalize and let's get out of here first.
Okay.
Yeah, we're in crisis mode right now.
I'll make a quick memory sketch of the dead guard to offer up a burnt offering to Aranwale when we finally have a chance to rest and stop moving.
Ito has swapped to carrying a hand axe that would probably be more suitable in close quarters.
All right.
Should we make for the boat?
The boat may have already departed without us. We did not give them instructions to stay. However, we should certainly leave this domicile.
Has anyone used
Is it
the
day or night outside from our perspective?
It is about midday at this point.
Has anyone used the sending stones today?
You used one of them.
We haven't used
Yeah,
the
we didn't.
ones
We
that go
sent
to
our
the
message to Zamza.
yeah.
Yeah, we
That was-
used our message to Zamza, letting him know what we were doing, and we can't send again today.
And
Okay,
Zeki
so-
also used the one that goes to Shadow that you didn't know where it went.
Yes.
So
He used two that went to Shadow, or he at least replied to
Well,
Shadow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I replied to Shadow once.
Yeah, you just replied. You didn't use it. You just replied a couple of times.
He contacted me once, and then he contacted me again, and I replied the second time, I think.
you replied the first time. That's how he could contact
That's
you
right.
the second time.
That's right.
You
So
became
Triangle and
known to
Diamond
him.
are known to be in Shadow's hands.
Yeah, and both of those were replies. You didn't initiate a conversation. I don't remember.
Right. Yeah. He started it each time. But I don't want to contact him and be like, ha ha ha, screw you, you didn't win. So he teleports in and kills us. I feel like unless we've got a better plan, try for the boats first.
Now,
Well,
I don't entirely remember the layout of this city, but I'm pretty sure if I do remember somewhat correctly, us being at the docks puts us the farthest possible away from any other option.
Yeah, so the docks are all along the northern edge of the city, and the city's much longer than it is. So it's longer east to west than it is north to south. So lots of coastline for the ships to be coming in on. If you head south and out of the city, you can get out of the city faster that way, but you're kind of in the middle of nowhere, as the only large town in this area is Kuche. and it's a couple weeks, or I believe about a week, walking through the stone to Bracknell.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Basically, us running away isn't any better, and the gnolls are probably better trackers that could run us down. So if
Fair
the
enough.
boats work, that's great. If the boats don't work, we're not much worse off than we already were.
other than that, you have to fight your way back through the city potentially.
Yeah.
While still not rested after being, nearly TPK'd again.
I've got
Well,
a spell.
we
I,
Pardon?
I can cast Charm Person on someone. I
We
have
might-
a spell slot left.
we might be able to find another boat if the original one isn't available too.
I have 0 moral compunctions against attempting to charm a boat captain if necessary.
I
We could
fully
also
thought that sentence was going
actually
towards
pay
boat
our way
theft.
out.
Boat
It
theft
may
is
be our best option.
Sorry.
We need
Not to
we need a
thief
safe
the boats,
house or
but
a temple,
to secure passage.
someplace where we can either get out of Dodge or store up.
I think securing passage as fast as possible may be our best option.
All right.
There were other boats on the docks.
And Alondiel, to answer your question, this was your safe house.
We've had a battle in our safe house now. No one else in the city likes us.
We need another safe house or to leave.
We need a
So-
safer safe house.
Are there any strong complaints against attempting to buy passage? Step 2, attempting to charm passage. Step 3, taking passage.
I would prefer to pay, but
I'll
by
pay
any
before we
means,
take
at
that.
this
We don't
point.
want somebody.
yeah,
We don't want more
Those were in order.
enemies.
First,
Yes,
we
let's-
attempt to pay. Then, if that doesn't work, we'll attempt to use a spell. If that doesn't work, then we will use force.
Let's go. As nonchalantly out of this wrecked building as possible, with
I am-
shattered windows in the middle of the day.
I am all for whatever keeps us alive.
Okay.
I have never committed mutiny before. This will be a new experience.
Me too. Exciting. So we're gonna make.
And Ore says that very nervously. He is not together at this moment. Everything is a little shaky coming out of Ore's mouth.
Mizeki sounds excited. We're gonna go like as fast as we can. I think.
Is everyone able to hustle? Does anyone need support to be carried?
We don't have to
Agreed.
mutiny.
Quickly as possible then.
Let's go.
How
And then
are
Ore
you
just
leaving the
starts
town hall?
working towards the door.
Probably out the back first.
Calmly
Maybe
and in an orderly fashion.
Okay,
as if there's a fire.
Are there pedestrians on the street that are visible through the windows that are all
Yeah.
broken out?
Good point. Check first. Is there anyone we can visibly see out back?
Oh, yeah, you can see all sorts of people staring in through the broken windows as you come upstairs and rush over to one particular null body, in particular Ore. So as you get up and begin looking around after that, you see that there are several other gnolls who are curiously peeking in at the destroyed building.
Are they armed or do they look just pedestrian?
They look pedestrian.
This was not us. I guarantee it. And then I start rushing out. I'm hoping everybody follows me as I'm just rushing out into the corridor and start working my way towards the docks in kind of a hurried, not running pace.
Okay. Are you going out the back door or the broken windows, or are you going to go out into the lobby and then out the front door?
This would probably be out the back door.
Okay.
I feel like if they've seen us and they are well aware that we are here, we don't really need to do the backdoor thing.
Yeah, but it's the
It's
door
the
we're
closest
closest
exit
to.
out of the
Yeah.
building from where we're coming in.
We're pretending
Oh,
there's
yeah,
a
fair
fire,
enough.
Ito. We're proceeding in an orderly fashion to the nearest exit.
Okay.
Hurried, orderly fashion out the door.
All right. So as you make your way out of the town hall you see the pedestrians that are all peeking in and watching. They all begin to kind of turn and scatter at her. Some of them a bit more nonchalantly than the others, trying to act like they weren't just watching you. Some of them a lot more obviously in fear. You begin making your way through the city, and you see that several of the gnolls begin to point and whisper. But you make your way to the docks without any incident of the guards.
Excellent. Is the boat that Ore has seen there?
The boat that you guys were going to take is gone.
Of course it is. Is there another boat that
I start
seems
looking
remotely fast?
There are
or ready to
several
leave.
boats. None of them look particularly fast, but they look like they could carry you.
Do they look like they're ready to depart? Like they're like ready to start unmooring the lines and ready to go type of appearance?
Most of the ships are currently unloading right now. There is one that there are several passengers currently boarding right now.
Let's find out where they're going.
Yeah,
The
I
other
point to
side
that
of
one,
Uche.
like kind of like, let's go.
Yeah, we'll head to that one.
All right. So you approach that ship. The captain there is human, and standing next to him is a female halfling with a clipboard. As you approach, she goes, "Names?"
I am Bruce. These are my friends. We'd like to secure passage out of here as quickly as possible, if that is an option.
And if it's not, we'll pay for someone else's berth to take it.
You said your name is Bruce. Is there a last name?
Almighty.
Almighty, as Mazeki whispers into my ear.
Bruce Almighty. I don't see you on our list. Unfortunately,
was
our
the-
I would
ship
like to
is
secure passage.
booked full already.
Mizeki's gonna kind of half shot. Would anyone like to exchange their passage for a bit of extra gold?
I lean over to Mizaki. I'm like, do we even know where they're going?
Does it matter?
Maybe.
At this point, you see a half orc kind of perk up, and he yells, "How much?"
How much did we
How
we
much
were
for you
paying?
to
10 gold.
stay, or to share your quarters with? I look over. The five of us. Six
That's
of
a
us.
lot
Is
of
it six? How many
space.
do we have? Six?
5.
Five
There's
of us.
5.
Yeah, five of us. Sorry, Insanity. I thought you were here too.
I mean, it kind of feels that way given the state of the city, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He goes, 25 gold plus the refund of my ticket.
How much was your ticket?
5 gold.
Deal. And
Alright, don't
I
make
grab
deals.
35 gold and I slap it in his hand.
Ah,
Thank you very much for your service.
this man. He cost us so much money.
And he goes, "Thank you."
Oh, I'm fine.
And the halfling goes, "Your name was Mineur, right?" And the half orc nods. And she scratches out his name and goes, "All right, Bruce, we have you on our ship."
A pleasure.
Uh,
Where are we going?
How large is the room, perchance?
Oh, it's a 1-person room. We have Bruce. The other 4 of you will need to find other accommodations.
No, we are quite comfortable being in close quarters. This is kind of a situation where we are okay with just about anything. How much to put more of us in that room?
I mean, we sell by the room, but the rooms are only 10 feet by 15 feet. They literally have a bed and a bucket in them.
Understood.
Mizeki,
We're
you're sleeping
capable
on
of
the deck.
accommodating.
No, nobody is allowed to sleep on the deck.
We should be sufficient. I promise you. Thank you. And I take the ticket and I start walking up the rest of
We
the game.
physically can't fit into that room. We'll need at least one more. I will need one more volunteer, please. Once again, up to 35 gold is on offer.
No responses from anybody.
I should note that, like, I feel like this entire question is being augmented by the fact that these people are all walking on, presumably normal commoners going about their daily business, and suddenly 5 bloodied all-to-hell adventurers in various level of heavy armor and armaments shows up behind them and starts shouting that they'll give you gold if you leave the ship immediately.
I am going to move a bit closer to the halfling woman and discreetly pull out my authorization sign from Temeki and say, "Ma'am, this is council business. We need to leave immediately."
She takes a look at it, hands it over to the captain. Captain goes, "All right, well, we'll refund a few and get you
You
on
will,
right
of
now."
course, be compensated by the council in due time.
Yes. So we're headed to Helena's Folly. So we'll be leaving as soon as everybody's on now.
Excellent.
And
Thank you.
you see him kind of wave, and a few of the guards of the ship go, and they start finding some people near the back of the line and escorting them out of the line and hand them their money back.
I'll add an extra gold per person.
Okay, so that would be 4 extra gold then.
Yeah. To pay them for their inconvenience.
All right. And you get escorted onto the ship where you are each given your own room. And these rooms are tiny. Not much in them, just basically this place to sleep and a bucket to use when you've got to go.
I do make sure to get my paper back just in case.
Yes, he hands it back to you.
Yeah, I figured. I just wanted to be very specific. It's my paper. It's mine.
Mm-hmm.
The best accommodation in steerage. Got it. Ore is going to stay on the deck and kind of watch for any kind of guard presence making their way towards the dock before we depart.
It might be better if you
Just on
can
the
to
off
turn into
chances,
an
but
animal. If you can still do that today.
Well, we weren't exactly being nonchalant getting to the docks and jumping on a boat. So,
Yeah,
like,
but
I'm
if,
just
if
watching
you're if
for
you're
who's
visible
running.
standing there, like you can turn into a hawk and see further.
I mean, it's not going to be like it's not going to be the most obvious. Just kind of standing
Or
up
it's
near the
pretty
bridge, just kind
obvious.
of watching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Ore
no,
tends to be
I'm sure
obvious.
I'm not.
Right.
I get
Do you
that I
not have the
stand out. I
slots to
might look
turn
like
into a bird?
equipment. I don't know.
Well, he can't turn into a bird yet because that's flying speed level 8.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh
Um,
well.
but
Darn.
also, in the few seconds that you have before you're escorted onto the ship and off of the dock, you don't
And
see
no, I don't, by the way.
anything.
Awesome.
Um,
Okay.
So
And then now we're gonna just stay out of the way.
yeah, basically, as soon as that letter got handed over, everything got rushed.
I knew it was a good idea to get that letter. We'll have to let them know we've used it.
All right. So it takes about another half an hour after you guys board the ship for everybody else to get on and for the crew to get the ship off the dock and out into the waters. You're each able to get a long rest in your rooms. So you may go ahead and do that now. With that, you also get to actually fully level up and get all your new abilities. Whatever feats people chose or ability score increases for those of you that got those. Which would be everybody but Ore and Mazeki. because you two multi-classed.
Yeah, Ore's going to end his century's rest, essentially praying to himself, or praying quietly to not disturb anybody else as I get my long rest out of the way.
Okay.
For a second, I was like, wow, Ore's decided he's going to pray to himself.
You don't pray to yourself?
Yeah.
Should we recap what we've done, I guess, for the viewers at home?
Yeah, we can recap. We did a recap at the beginning.
Well, of like what we've done for level ups.
Oh, yeah.
It's a big jump
Go
for a
ahead.
lot of people. I will go first because mine's easy. I now have a level in Warlock. Hooray! I'm a genie Warlock.
I can go next because mine isn't much more involved. I got a few features that got better simply because they were based on my fighter level, and I also picked up the Heavy Armor Master feat so that now all non-magical weapon attacks deal 3 less damage so that Ito can actually not die.
Nice. Alandio?
Erenwell has blessed me with further enlightenment and wisdom as I advanced further in my devotion to her.
And Sadzi?
I'm gonna meditate on it for a little bit.
Sadzi forgot to pick some things,
Okay. And Ore?
but he's getting level in sorcerer.
Ore says, or has kind of a very long prayer that he spends his entire rest kind of doing over and over again, praying to Thalia, hoping that she is okay with the calamity that is happening with the divines, asking for solace in a sense of failure that he cannot quite wrap his head around how to process, and then kind of asking Thalia for some beacon of hope or some solace that he is on the right path. And I will take a level of cleric at this point.
Okay. So as you're
Ooh.
doing your prayers, you do feel the surge of energy within, and you see projected it on the wall for just a moment the night sky and the stars before it fades. And then you just feel this kind of comforting calm over you.
Ore, coming out of the century's rest, having that feeling, notices that the dark interior of his unlit room is very clear to his vision at this point. Feeling a sense of hope in his self, is going to prepare his spells for the day.
All right. So, the trip to Helena's Folly takes a couple weeks. You know that there was only about a week left before Zamza said he would be arriving back in town.
We do definitely send a message like on the first day after we leave.
Okay.
Like
Absolutely.
we get together and we craft some sort of message that I don't have the brain for right now that describes the situation.
All right. So, yeah, in the
Yeah,
morning you have that
certainly a
opportunity.
recap, a summary.
How many words do we get with
I will
message?
collect
You get
25.
25.
I'm also going to go to the group and collect as many torches as everybody has. And 3 times I'm going to cast Eternal Flame on each of them and then redistribute them to everybody else in the group.
That's a
So
lot of
everybody's going
money.
to get their own ever-burning torch.
You spending all the cash?
How much is it
Ito,
for? What
It's
is the
Ruby
price?
Ito
dust.
already has
Is
one,
it
so
50?
definitely don't make one for Ito. He already has one.
That costs like ruby
Oh, that's
dust,
true. And
doesn't it?
I also recovered one myself, and I would have given that to someone who doesn't have dark vision. Who doesn't have dark vision? Is it Mizeki and Alondiel?
Yeah, Mizeki doesn't right now.
I do.
Alondiel has it because he's an elf.
Ito doesn't because he's
Then-
human.
But Ito already has one. It's just Mizeki that needs one.
Oh,
Then I would have given the one that I recovered from the building to Mizeki, so he has one as well. And then I wouldn't spend the resources to cast
Cool.
that, since the two people who don't have dark vision now have their own lantern or
ever-burning torch.
ever-burning torch, ever-burning torch.
Cool. Do we need to go? Oh, so far I've got shadowed attacked, took mayor, we fled, boat to Helena's. Any other important words?
Maybe first port out of Kuche to Helena's.
Go see if they can intercept. And we can hop onto his boat.
We'll need assistance to maintain order in Kuche.
Kuje fall into shattered dust.
Shadow personally kidnapped Mayor. To elaborate on that a little bit.
We've got like 5 words. I will add shadow. I'm gonna add an and to the and. Shadow
So-
attacked and took mayor.
Okay. So that's 5 words. And then I have took boat to Helena's, which is another 4.
Yeah. Yeah. Used letter from Tameki.
Okay. You want to
Just-
include that?
Yeah. Kuche fall into shattered dust.
Okay.
Prisoners freed on smuggler boat. And I think that's everything.
Can we ask for the status of protecting the other town? Which,
I mean, I
name
feel like
can't
that's
remember all of.
that's up to they already know that information, and I would rather have we already
Just-
conveyed there's a teleport circle?
I don't believe so.
I feel like
'Cause-
conveying that they have a teleport circle in their fort is more important.
That could be done the second day,
That's true.
because we're gonna be at sea for a couple of days, regardless
Yeah,
of
like
the
weeks.
consequences everywhere else.
We're stuck here.
Congrats, we get to write out exactly 25-word messages 7 times.
So many times.
Yeah.
All right. So the first message I have is 23 words. It's shadow attacked and took mayor, took boat to Helena's. You should probably say we took boat to Helena's, which would make it
Yeah,
24
we. Yeah, that makes more
words. Used a letter from Tameki. Kuche fall into shattered dust. Prisoners free on smuggler's boat.
And then just love at the end.
And okay, got it.
Because Mizaki's writing it.
All right. And who has this stone right now? Was this the one that Ore has?
I think Ori's carrying it, yeah.
No, Ore gave it to
Eladio?
the smugglers to give
No, I
to you
still have
guys.
Oh.
Zams's.
Okay,
that's
so
no. Mizeki gave it back to me. Mizeki handed
Okay.
it back to me when we
yes,
got.
because Mizeki doesn't want to be in charge of the ones that are good.
The ones you
So
know.
he doesn't ever he
Yeah.
doesn't ever accidentally want to use one of the good ones.
All right. So, Ore, then, after you give this message, you hear back. Thanks for the report. We appreciate your efforts. We have another contact who is working on the situation.
That's good. I'd feel really bad if they didn't.
And that's it. There's nothing else in the
Nothing
message?
else with that.
Gotcha.
Turn this boat
I'll
around.
relay that to the group.
I feel like the only other thing now we need to check is the next day we'll tell them about the teleport circle at the fort. And that Shadow can obviously teleport. And then ask what we should do when we arrive in Helena's.
I think incrementally over each day, we would extend more and more of the
Yeah.
details of what exactly had happened. Kind of give them
Yeah.
a full account of what we can.
Okay.
Definitely.
So on day 2, when you tell the message with the teleportation circle, well, or you hear back. Huh. Good to know how they've been getting around so quickly. We've heard from our contact that the army that was marching has been taken care of. We don't know the full details yet, but they are coming to report in person to Marble.
Cool. Again, I relay that to everyone in the group. I'm sure we're sending these messages in a group, so for each response, I'm relaying that to everybody else.
All right.
And then I guess the next day, the biggest thing is what do we do when we get there?
So when you ask that on the 3rd day, Zamza replies and he goes, once you arrive in Helena's, head up to Mint and meet with the counselor. Ask him to send you back up to Drusus. We have much to discuss.
At some point, I would reply back asking if there's a chance we can return to the wild, or if there's another mission that we have prescient.
Okay, so you wouldn't be able to do that till day 4 because you would have asked.
Right. But that's kind of right. But that would be the next message that I would send out. Then I would probably hijack any additional message just to kind of put that in there.
So in response, Zamza comes back saying, you will be free to go and do as you wish after arriving in Drusus and meeting with Marble.
Or he's like, we get back on a boat and go back immediately.
Good news. We'll tell you about it later.
They're contacting us about our cart warranty.
Right, understood.
Awesome. I feel like at this point it's just kind of we chill for the rest of the time until the boat arrives, and Mizeki shoots a lot of hex bolts in the water.
Okay. So,
Ore would probably spend a lot of his time exploring his new abilities.
And Elendil offers to provide religious services such as weddings, coming of age things for anybody on the boat, funeral rites in case anybody dies.
all right.
Hey, it's not uncommon for like elderly to die at sea
I
and
was
have to do
laughing
something.
because my first instinct was to offer to have someone die.
For
And for an extra
anybody,
10 gold, funeral rites.
Modern cruise ships have like a 2-person morgue on them
I know.
for handling
Yeah, with
people
freezers.
that die. Yeah.
So do airplanes.
for anybody who takes up a lawn deal on those services, Ore is going to pay a lot of attention just to kind of make notes. Ore will spend part of his time kind of watching Alondiel and the way he does his like religious tenets to individuals and to himself. And at some point, I'm sure Ore would kind of gather the group around and ask them and kind of talk to them about maybe going back to the wild to try and search for Fertile's blessing once they release us from any additional services, unless they have another mission that they want us to do. That's something that Ore would like to pursue if everybody was interested in it.
All right. So on day 8 of your trek, you get a message back saying, situation with the Knolls has been fully resolved.
Hooray! What does
Yay.
that mean? Does Kuche still exist?
You can
I'm
ask him
sure it
like
does.
respond. So in our response back, say like, how so? If you want to share.
Police action? Question mark.
On day 9, the next day, when the message can come, Zamza reports.
Well, so like when we get the message, we can automatically reply to it, right?
Correct, but they
And
can't
then
send.
we can
Yep.
use,
They
but then
can't
we
send
can
back
use
to us again.
our message to then respond, so they can reply back to us.
I thought you were
Same
sending them
day.
details every day
Oh,
of your
Yeah,
trip.
we're sending them details
okay.
because we
In-
want to
in
give as
25
complete a
word
report as
increments.
possible before we arrive, and that's going to take a while.
Right. So on day 9, the message comes. Our contact has arrived back in Drusus with the head of a tabaxi and the head of the knoll who he claims to be in charge. Order has been restored, and a new mayor has been set up in Kuche.
Dang.
I would certainly be asking if there's any intel that has been issued on Shadow or the mayor to find out his status, if they know anything or if they've discovered anything in the process.
Okay. The next day, your reply comes back. The head of the knoll is confirmed to be that of the mayor. He was working with them the whole time. The head of the tabaxi is believed to be Shadow. Unconfirmed, but seems to indicate from your descriptions it is a match.
Wait,
Or
so the
a
mayor was two-timing
I mean-
us as well?
The mayor was going to attempt to use us to get out, I'm assuming. If things went to complete shit. Doesn't matter. He's
Right,
dead
but
now.
Or
Sabla Brawl.
you're good with animals, right? Can you help them act as messengers, or like carry, like, say, a letter?
That's a really long way.
It's a bird.
I don't think the spell goes
are
that
there
far.
birds that are camped out on the boat that I would be able to try and train?
There are not. You might be able to coax down some seagulls, but there aren't any birds that, come and stay on the ship long enough for you to train them.
It
If
can
you are able
only.
to acquire an avian, I would be willing to try and train them to deliver a message for you specifically if I'm able to.
It only goes 50 miles a day.
Oh, dang it. Yeah, I just saw that. Yep.
Yeah, it's not much. Like, I assume it's probably not that much better than our boat. And it's just a message again.
Well, no, because what I could do is they want to confirm it's Shadow. We've seen Shadow. I
You
can
could draw
draw
a
a
picture of him.
picture and say, this is what Shadow looks like. Compare it to the head.
I would assume, given the amount of days we can have, you've probably been able to give them pretty accurate, like, so someone could recreate.
Right. We also would have had
Shadow's
Ito
fur
to
pattern looks
confirm
like
his.
this. Yeah.
Yeah, and Ito would have confirmed that it was Shadow by his knowledge, and we would have conveyed that at some point. So yeah, they would have had that.
Okay.
Right, which is why they said by your descriptions they believe it's a match, but unconfirmed. Because you guys had, by that point, 9 days of sending messages to give as much detail as you could.
And I
So-
was gonna pray for the mayor,
So,
but I guess the toll comes for all eventually.
day 21, you arrive in the port of Helena's Folly. Sadzi, having been here before, knew to dress warmly. The rest of you, having not been here before, step off expecting it to still be summer. It is very
We
much
were
winter.
we were warned about this. It's specifically why we chose not to go there. I remember.
Yes, Santi did let you know about it initially.
Ito was not warned.
Yeah, that's true. Ito wasn't warned, and I don't have any nice clothes for this, so it doesn't matter that I knew. I knew it was going to be sucky. It still sucks.
Ori steps off the boat and is like, I think this is cold. Is this cold? Is this what cold feels like? This is not pleasant. And start
Yeah,
layering up. Put on
Ito's
actual clothes for the first time.
Ito's teeth are chattering too much to really get much reply out. He is not used to this much cold. At least not recently.
Santi, it is warmer than when you were last here. As you can kind of tell, it's starting to transition into more of a spring than a winter, but it's still much colder than where you just came from.
I did warn you guys, although it is a little nicer than last time I was here.
Does Ore recognize this type of cold from being at the tower? Is it the same kind of cold or very different cold?
So it is the same type of cold, just the wrong time of year for it.
Gotcha.
So you get off the boat into the city of Helenas. What would you like to do? You were
How
instructed
big
to
is
head
this
straight to
city?
Mint. It is a fairly large city. It's about the fifth largest city in the mainland of Haplorini.
Hire a carriage, hire a carriage, hire a carriage. I say as I point to everybody.
Yes, let us secure passage and acquire some appropriate garments for this type of climate.
Aren't carriages, like, terribly expensive?
I have
You
no
want to
idea. I've never
walk?
ridden in one. Let's find out. We will ask someone available for where the nearest carriage hiring place is. There's a word for that, and I don't know what it is.
Would it be faster to take a boat to Mint versus overground passage?
To take a boat to, we'd have to. You could go upriver.
Yeah, you could go up the Colossal River.
We can ask that when we get to the place where you might hire such services.
A
Well,
cart rental
We're
agent.
getting off a
We're
boat.
at
That's
the,
a
we're
good
at
place
the
to ask
dock.
that question.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
at the docks. So if you want to get a
So
boat, this is the place to do it. If you want to get the carriage,
The carriage would probably be faster because you'd be having to go upriver, which is going to be a slower, more arduous process.
I mean, I guess we can ask a river captain real quick. Hey, how long does this take to get
Yep.
to Mint from here?
so you ask around, and he goes, we don't typically stop in Mint. We usually just go straight all the way to Anvil. That takes us just about a month to get from the base of the river up to Anvil. We could stop near Mint because the river doesn't quite touch Mint, which is why
Yeah.
we don't stop there.
If you were to stop near Mint, how long would it take you?
It's about halfway up the river, so it takes us about a month to get to Anvil, so 2 weeks.
Okay. With that
When are you
information,
leaving next?
Next time an order gets placed for either pickup or delivery.
so not reliable for beginning or going or staying.
I mean, we usually get one a month, so a lot of the
Wow.
times we'll get one within just a couple days of getting home. Sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's 2. We just got back a day ago, so Maybe tomorrow, maybe not for another week.
I say we check the wagon, see how that goes. Carriage, whatever.
Yeah. So a carriage is 2 weeks to mint.
That's basically the same and more reliable. Let's do that.
Okay.
What's the cost compared to between the two?
So the carriage to mint is 10 gold. The boat is slave labor.
I don't have any slaves, so
Carriage it is.
You would be
how
the slave
is that
labor.
is that per carriage or per person on the carriage?
That is per carriage.
How many of us fit in a carriage? We probably need 2 carriages.
Can centaurs take carriages?
I mean,
Yeah.
Mizeki's going to be pulling the carriage.
Excuse me.
He's a
Honestly,
delicate
Slave
flower.
labor,
it's just as likely that Ito's pulling it at this point.
Yeah, like Ito's far
He's-
stronger than Miseki is.
Ito's got more than double the strength of Mizeki. I feel like
Yeah, but Mizeki can carry double
As
the
if he's a
carrying
size
capacity.
category larger, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to pull a carriage. We'll hire horses.
you know what's really funny. Even with the doubled carry capacity, Ito can still carry more than Mizeki.
Yeah, poor Mizeki and his low strength.
You can carry over 360 pounds? That's crazy.
You can carry more than 75 pounds?
Outrageous!
I guess technically me carrying a carriage would be 720 because it doubles again.
Yep.
Either
Oh,
way,
okay,
probably
no.
2 carriages.
Okay.
And
I
then
think we can do that.
Mizeki
We
will
got the
ride in
money.
one of them. Yeah.
So Mizeki gets one to himself, is what you're saying?
He doesn't have to, but I probably don't want a horse sitting sideways and then 2 other people.
Fair. Okay. 2 carriages, so you can go ahead and mark off that gold.
I'll
How
take that
much-
out of the stash.
What's our stash at right now?
Let me pull that up. We're before paying, we're at 207
Okay.
gold, and so that's minus.
So we're
20.
adventurer poor and regular person rich still.
Yes.
can I recover the 35 gold I spent to get us passage on the last boat from that?
I think the plan is
I
we
handed
ask
35
about
gold
that.
to that orc who walked off.
Yeah. The plan is we're going to ask about that in like Mint when we meet the representatives of whoever's
Sure.
supposed to be telling us stuff.
Well, the counselor, you were told just to tell him you need to take the portal back to Drusus.
Awesome. So we'll do it there. Keep on that though, or we don't want to lose our money. It's important
And
that
you'll
we
be
have
able to
Drusus.
tell them it was part of the expense of
Yeah.
booking package. We'll get them to reimburse it.
Oh, sure, not a problem.
We'll send it to HR.
All right. So the 2 weeks go by uneventful there. It's only about 2 days before you get out of the winter weather that surrounds Helena's Folly. And it goes back to the summer fading into fall weather that you would expect this time of year in the rest of the continent. As you arrive in town, in Mint, you head to the town hall where Counselor Gleaming Hand greets you. And he goes, "They let me know you were coming, and that you had much success of your trip down to the wilds.
Yep.
However, they did not mention that you lost one of you and picked up someone new. Hi, I'm Gilkos, Gleaming Hand. Nice to meet you," as this little gnome reaches his hand out towards you, Ito.
All right. We forgot to bring that up, didn't we?
Yeah, Ito is just like, well met. And he's gonna like reach down to shake the gnome's hand, and he is very worried that he's going to crush this gnome.
All right. And he goes, so, what happened to Sephin?
He got a call. I'm assuming from someone important to him personally because he left with them.
He was recalled to his home for business beyond hours.
It's been a few weeks. I've been here since slightly before he left.
I was hoping you may have additional information. I am worried about my friend Sephin.
I'll reach out to Counselor Coppercloak and see what she knows.
Appreciate it.
Although, if she knew anything, I'm sure she would have told us.
His business at home may have been more personal than we were aware.
I mean, he didn't even really come back and say goodbye, so I'm assuming it was important to him. I'm keeping his share of the candy.
Well, I've been briefed on what you need. So, if you want to follow me into the back room, we will open the teleportation circle back to Drusus.
Excellent.
He leads you back into the back room where you first arrived in the city of Mint almost 4 months ago now at this point. He summons in one of the wizards nearby who performs the ritual and opens the teleportation circle. You see the library in Drusus on the other side as you all run through.
Ito definitely would have loved to take a moment to look at that teleportation circle, because at this point, he's had enough encounters with portals. He's just going to try to memorize all of them.
Okay.
This one's on the ground.
Wait,
Is it the library in Mint that we're teleporting out of?
No, you teleport out of the town hall.
Got ya.
did we get a chance to speak to Shadow at all?
No, Shadow has not reached back out to Mizeki since that day.
Since
Oh,
they reported
I
his
will
head was-
mention to the gnome that I have several of these sending stones, and I know at least 2 were at one point in Shadow's hands.
Oh, you can tell if somebody's got the stone, right?
If you try and use it, yeah, you can tell if it's unheld.
Try and use the one that was
I don't want
Shadow.
to. I want to give it to them. They have the resources. What am I going to do if I find out? I'm going to
I don't
tell
know.
them.
Just tell them somebody still got it.
We can cut out the middleman and give it directly to them.
So you give them to Counselor Gleaming Hand?
I'm going to give up the triangle and the diamond one. We're keeping the circle pair we have because we know we have the pair.
Mhm.
And then we have one
Right.
unidentified one I'd also like to keep. But we will let them know we have it.
And you had 5 sets that you picked up, plus the matching pair that you picked up. You had 6 in total because the one that you got from Zamza.
Okay. I
Keep-
only marked 4 null sending stones. So at some point we got an
we
extra.
still have. Yeah, we had 4. The triangle, and the diamond were used by Shadow, and yeah,
Right.
the 2 identified ones were the ones we're keeping.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Where-
Yeah,
where
we
the
have
symbol
we have
is
one
on the
pair
stone.
that are both circles.
Mm-hmm.
Two shadow
Right.
ones and one unidentified one.
You should have
And then
2
Zamza.
unknown ones.
Okay. I will
Then,
update to
because
2.
Yeah, we have 2 that are identified.
right, because you got
Everything else has, we
5
have the pair.
from the leader in the base.
So we will give them the ones we know Shadow had and keep the unidentified
triangle and the
ones, but
diamond.
let them know that we have them.
Okay. Counselor Gleaming Hand will hand those off to the wizards to do some investigations on. As you guys run through your portal, you arrive in the library in Drusus, where you first really met and studied.
So we did one glaringly obvious mistake that we kind of gleamed over is On the boat with 21 days, Ore absolutely would have asked about the ring that was still in his bag to Mizeki, who is back with his ring. Why is there a second ring?
That would be something we could probably talk about. Yes, we have some time.
Sir.
All right.
Well, we did have 21 days on the boat. I just totally spaced that off.
Probably, I
running for
imagine
our
it would
lives.
probably be brought up like after the first day, after we do the
Yeah,
sending
that's what I would
stone,
think as
because we're
well.
all there.
Yeah, I apologize that I forgot to bring that up while we were on the boat, but yes, absolutely. Or I would be like, I still have a ring in my bag that is your ring, and point to the one on your hand.
My first instinct is, oh, free wings. They duplicate. We could sell them. Can Mizeki investigate it? Does it look the same?
You already know
Okay.
that ring is your escape. So that is your level 1 Warlock Genie feature, your respite
Oh,
that you can go into.
okay. So is the one on my hand, is that like a fake one now, or
No, that's his
do I just
prison.
have two? Okay, so I have his prison and okay.
Yeah.
Fancy. I will ask for the ring and explain that it is a part of my powers.
And then you disappear into it.
Oh no, I don't want to disappear into it right now. I mean, I can if someone asks what it does, I'll disappear then for dramatic effect. But
Oh, what do you mean it's part of your powers?
a moment, and then I'll just disappear into it, causing it to fall onto the table, of course.
Yep.
And then I'll pop back out a second later. I have a really big bed.
Now, is this like Aladdin genie coming out of the lamp theatrics here going on?
It's
I
just
hope so.
Should I?
disappear and reappear.
Oh,
There is a nice kind of thunderclap with it, though.
excellent.
I'm gonna draw
Should I
a very
keep this?
stylized thing of like him turning into like smoke and coming out of the ring.
Should I keep this ring
I
in
will need
case of
that.
emergencies? If that is,
I
and
will
Ore
ask.
is very hesitant to give it to you, looking for more of a detailed explanation.
What's the save? Hold on. I have a thing.
You have a thing?
Yeah, I'm gonna use my mage hand.
All right, detect magic is a
Uh,
ritual level 1 cleric spell.
Sure,
If
sure.
you wanted
Ore,
I would
to,
I
Ore
had
needs to
considered it
make
as
a
well. I
perception
totally.
check against my sleight of hand.
You do have to prepare detect magic, though, even as a cleric, even though it's a
yes,
ritual
you do.
spell.
Yes.
It's not like the wizard where you
Sure.
just have to have it in your spellbook.
Yeah, I would have probably. Actually, no, but I would have addressed with Mizeki before I had done that, just to ask him what his perspective was. And I would still not be in contact with the ring. It would be on the pen, the ink pen that I would be holding the ring on. So if
I
he's
am
doing
going to cast mage hand.
gonna do mage hand to try and snag it up, would it be my passive perception or do I have to roll for perception?
It's your active, I think, versus my sleight of hand. I got a 22.
I mean, are you trying to just see him take it, or are you trying to stop him from taking it?
Well, I would have not deliberately given it to him.
Yeah,
If
so I'm
I
using
was
my
worried
mage
about
hand legerdemain to
having
take it
greater.
Right.
while carried.
Okay.
And I don't think you noticing stops me from doing it. It just means that you noticed it happen. Yeah, because it's without being noticed is what I'm
Right.
attempting to do.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah,
Clipped perception. Nothing has happened yet.
yeah, Mizeki, you have the ring in your mage hand.
I mean, I'm gonna take it back and put it on. Yeah, I did notice that the dice on the site has been weirdly slow today.
Yeah, I've clicked it like 3 times now, so I might get 3 perception checks like back to back here in whatever it actually registers it.
Boom, boom,
Looking
boom.
at everything.
It happens. All right. So
Cool. So he's gonna put it on and be like, "I appreciate you holding it. I can explain more about what it does, but it is mine."
And Ori kind of aloof is like, if you feel you need assistance, please let us know. And I look at you very, again, I'm not the most expressive robotic face, but if you could feel a sense of like, blink once for help, blink twice for no type of like, really like, let us know
Yeah.
if you
Are
need
you
help
being
with
held
something.
hostage?
Yeah, are you being held hostage? That's exactly how I'm feeling.
Yes, that was one thing I did want to make sure I explained is he'll share that if, for example, he needs to retreat into it and we need to go somewhere, someone else can carry it. Because it becomes an object and he's inside of it and he can still hear you, can't talk to you. We'll figure that out through experimentation.
He can hear us abandoning him on the side of the road.
Yes. Quickly run, leave the ring. So if that ever comes up and he needs to go inside of it for some reason, you'll have to carry the ring until we find out another solution for it.
Would it be beneficial if I were carrying the ring in case something happened? That way it is not dropping to the ground in a moment of chaos.
No, because several of my capabilities rely on me wearing it.
Understood. I will watch to retrieve the ring if necessary.
That is appreciated. And he will give an example of exploding thunder damage. Yeah,
Are you
because
just
it's
doing
just an attack roll.
Thunder Wave or?
No, I can do my Genie's
Oh,
Wrath when I
yeah.
hit with an attack roll, so I can make my Force Bolts do extra thunder damage.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna Thunder Wave in the cabin. Guys, remember that spell that almost killed all of us? Check it out.
I was like, okay, yeah, cool. Whatever
Blows
happens,
off the
right?
door, kills everyone.
I
It's
did
great,
not
isn't it?
know my own strength. Yeah, I didn't know what
I
spells you
would be
had now, so I was like, oh.
Yeah, I picked up
I would be
Eldritch
cautious
Blast
of using
Hex.
of dropping the ring in watery environments or possibly over a deep chasm. We may not be able to retrieve it.
Yes, that would be very bad because I would then appear inside the water environment or deep chasm.
Especially since, kind of can't climb back out.
He's gonna make the finger point like that's rude, but you have a point. All right. So we've established that my connection to the evil dark power ring is stronger, and now I have two of them.
But one of them's your own personal getaway.
Yes, I have won the vacation lottery. Next week, when another one appears,
Dun, dun,
eventually
dun.
everyone will wear the ring.
It was the one ring. Now it is the 5 rings.
The Legend of the Five Rings. That's when we reroll characters, right? And we start playing that one.
Yeah, sure, for sure. All right. So you have arrived in the library at Drusus.
Hooray!
We are back to that point, jumping back into the future.
So step one, we need to make sure that we get compensated for our expenses. But first, we're here to get information. But we need to not forget to get compensated.
Who meets us at the gate room when we teleport in?
Just the guards that manage it, the wizards that turn it on and off. They're the only ones that are there in the room.
Do we recognize any of them from last time?
They were the same ones that opened it for you last time.
He's going to enthusiastically greet them. Hello, gentlemen or gentlewomen or folks if they're mixed genders.
They just kind of nod politely.
Does Ore know them from being in the library for a year?
Nope.
These guys work in the restricted section.
Yeah, this was a section you didn't
Sure.
know
Understood,
existed in
yeah.
the library.
Right, but people moving through the library Ore may have interacted with, so if they were familiar to him that way,
Yeah.
I would assume.
Ito is also just generally very, very interested in the concept of an entire library.
This is a massive, massive library. Several floors. It goes deep underground as well.
Ito definitely at the first possible opportunity, is asking whether this library has sections for like adventure stories or something.
The moment you start asking other people that, Ore starts answering that question for you. Are you looking for fictional adventure stories? They would be down this corridor here. Are you looking for legitimate histories of adventurers? That would be down this corridor here, and points to different directions.
Ito, meanwhile, is not entirely willing to say. He's more interested in when you take the legitimate one and then add just a little bit of fiction.
I
So
should be able to assist you to find any information you are looking for in this particular library. I've spent a year here assisting with artifact acquisition.
we're technically supposed to be going to a meeting right now, but we can check that out after.
Correct. We will return to this state a little later, if you're okay with that.
Ito nods and is definitely wondering whether he can find another copy of his book here.
Okay. You make your way through the library back out into the city to the town hall where you met with all of the counselors. Upon entering, you meet with Marble and his husband Agile are there as the ground counselor. In addition, you meet with the counselor from Drusus, who you didn't really get the chance to talk to last time. His name is Victor Goodman. He's a human. And they are the
You said he's the
only.
mayor of Drusus?
No, he's the counselor from Drusus.
Counselor from Drusus, got
Yeah, so Marble's the grand counselor, and then Victor is the local counselor. So Marble is over all of Haptherini and the Wilds and communicates with the counselors regularly. Victor is just over the nation of Drusus.
And Marble's husband is named Marshall
Agile.
or Harshal? Agile, sorry, Agile.
And Marble is not currently is the one that is in charge. I'm sorry, my brain broke that. Who's in charge of the one that's currently rebelling?
Zamza.
Zamza, right? Yeah,
And Zamza is not here.
Zamza's busy.
Zamza is back in the wild.
Yeah,
It has
busy.
been much longer than when he said he would be back. So
Hopefully, he's okay.
yeah. You come in and you see Marble, the orange tabaxi, and his husband, the tuxedo tabaxi. As you come in, they go, "Word has spread to us of all that you did. From Zamza, he's let us know of your successes and your struggles. We appreciate everything that you've done for us. The rebellion, as you should have been informed now, has been handled. And Kuche is back under control." We had just one question for you. At which point he pulls out the head of a tabaxi that's been fairly well preserved. It is a calico tabaxi. And
Is it the same calico tabaxi?
he holds it out and he goes, "This was given to us by our contact and told that this is Shadow. Can you confirm?" You look it over, and it does seem to be Shadow. But there's just this thought in the back of all of your heads. And you hear this voice in each of your heads going, "That's not real."
Mizaki's not going to say anything because voices in his head is starting to get to be a normal thing, so he's not going to mention it.
It is your own voice that you kind of hear. in there.
That's a
I
little
wanna-
weirder than normal.
I want to poke it.
Okay.
Can I sniff it?
Yeah, you can.
Would this be like an insight check to see if it's honestly him, or would it just be like an investigation?
So you can try whatever you would like to determine.
I would like to
So-
investigate it.
Insight.
Okay.
Could we do perception, maybe?
Yeah.
Nice. That's a 25 insight check into
Jesus.
that.
Okay.
Head.
You're not a
Is this the
deadhead.
real head?
So
I got a 24 in perception.
okay. So with your perception, and it definitely looks like it is Shadow. Alondiel, with your insight, since insight can't really determine if something is real, it's more the thought that you have, that you feel, that little voice that you heard in your head. You're fairly certain that it is telling the truth and that this head is not real.
I disbelieve the fire elemental.
Do you cast Eldritch Blast?
No,
There are
but
three
if I
lights.
could.
Do you have detect magic prepared
do.
right now?
I do.
You cast that, and the head is giving off a very powerful illusion magic.
Does that let me make a save against it? Now that I know there's an
feel like we could
illusion.
just ask them to dispel it. They have people who can cast teleport.
Guys, this thing's under a charm, super potent of some sort of illusion.
Who is holding the head?
Marble
Was it
is.
Victor or Marble?
Marble.
Is. I would do an insight check against Marble.
Okay. What is your insight?
I'm rolling, but it might 5 minutes for it to show up here.
Yeah, it looks like it's rolling.
That is a dirty 20.
Okay. Marble seems honest. He doesn't seem any different from when you've met him. You still believe it is the same person, but he seems fairly convinced that this is Shadow. Alondiel, when you say it is under very powerful illusion magic, everybody in the room, Victor, Marble, Agile, and their guards, all just kind of give you this very puzzling look. And then Victor speaks up and he goes, "We've had all of our best investigators look over this. There are no signs."
I
of
use
magic.
thaumaturgy to make my eyes glow with my goddess's light. To be like, you must dispel this illusion.
Okay.
Mizeki's going to take the time now to point
And
out
then I
his hand a
drop.
little bit.
Then I drop thaumaturgy and I act.
Mizeki doesn't believe that, but he's going to raise his hand and be like, "Did anyone else hear themselves in their head?"
Ito is nodding and he's like, "That's not Shadow."
So there's been a thing where, like, we believe possibly gods or something has been talking to us collectively.
Oh, it's totally happening.
And that happened and told us that that's not real. So we're going based on that. It sounds like there's some advanced magical theory occurring here.
All right. And at that point, Victor signals, and a few of his guards come over, and they look at it, and they begin casting spells, but nothing seems to have any effect. Eventually, Alondiel, you feel a prompting in your mind to go and join them. As they do so, inviting the other 4 along with you. As you all join hands and work with these wizards as they are working to do this, they cast this spell, and you each feel this surge of energy flow from you into them, and then you see this massive explosion of light on the head. And the image of the calico cat vanishes.
Don't be Zamza. Don't be Zamza.
Oh God.
And in its place is the head of a black tabaxi. At which point Marble, seeing this, screams and drops it. And he goes, "That is our contact." And you
That's
see
slightly
his
less
orange
bad.
fur just go a bit pale.
All right. So there's clearly been a breakdown in counter-espionage.
Send a message to Zamza immediately.
And
Ore starts fumbling in his bag to pull out the Zamza stone.
Simple. Danger. Contact killed, not Shadow. Shadow alive. Beware.
No. Don't give away all the information.
Yeah, we don't actually know
Just
who has the stone either.
send something, but include something that only Zamza would know.
Which is not something that we would know.
No,
Ore
but
just kind of shrugs when you say that and hands out and like extends his arm with the stone, like, please feel free. I don't know him.
Yeah, you figure it
Marble
out.
would.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully the consulars have some way of communicating with each other securely.
So, Marble, we would need to get a message to Zamza and make sure that he hasn't been compromised. Is there any sort of phrase or question that we could ask him that only Zamza would understand?
Or that you give a code word and then they respond with the code word as part of their thing to know, to confirm that they've received the message.
That's not anything we've established, but I've known Zamza for many, many years and would know how he would respond to certain things. I definitely know how he would respond to this. As that, and he points to the head on the floor, is his brother.
Oh, snap.
Miseki's gonna hand off a piece of rock candy to Ito because Ito was probably not prepared for this level of ridiculousness. And then ask, can we get some drinks? Maybe? Because this seems a lot heavier than just hello, welcome back.
It was just supposed to be hello, welcome back. Yes, drinks. What are we going to do? And Marble begins pacing back and forth as Agile goes into the back and emerges a few minutes later with drinks.
Still in favor of warning Zamza.
Oh, definitely. But
Like immediately
I
just
would
say, hey,
suggest we do that.
yeah,
mission compromised. You don't have to tell how or whatever. Like, respond immediately. Find circle to teleport home. Something. Danger, Will
I would
Robinson,
suggest that
danger.
happens outside of the stones. If the stones are compromised, if Zamza is compromised, someone sending an exclusive message to Zamza through our means, and I look over to the counselors to confirm it is the correct individual receiving it.
that is a better plan.
Maybe more prudent to not use the stones if they are compromised.
Yes, we can send a message directly to Zamza, and the wizards who performed the spell, the dispel of the magic, turn and look. What would you like us to send to Counselor Zamza?
I like Sadzi's suggestion of please report possible danger. How is your brother?
Oh, too soon.
I mean, do we have anything else?
Maybe heard from your brother lately?
All right.
That it almost feels cruel.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it is important to convey like
Possible danger, find safe house, stay put,
I mean, is there
house
anything
contact.
in the past that you could say that Zamza would immediately know something's up because you wouldn't ordinarily know this, but it's something that you have in common?
I feel like going with the brother angle, as cruel as it might be, is the most straightforward and effective. If someone is spying on our communications in a way that we can't control, we're not going to be able to stop them from hearing it, and we're not going to be able to craft a counter espionage message that he'll understand. So this conveys enough information that if he can figure it out, and if someone is spying, they'll already know anyway that we know because we're messaging them all of a sudden. I do feel really bad about it though. Like it is really mean.
All right. So what are we sending?
Seek safety immediately, likely in danger. Have you spoken to your brother recently?
And upon the reply, if you're able to send another message, depending on the message, we may want to inform him that his brother has been compromised,
You've only
Yeah.
done 13
regardless of the
words
specifics.
in this message so far. Seek safety immediately, likely in danger. Have you spoken with your brother recently? So you would have another 12
Shadow
words in
may
this
not
message.
be.
Um,
Shadow may still be present.
confirm you have sending stone.
Well,
Because that answers most of our questions, right? Because if he's got the sending stone, we can have another back and forth.
Correct.
Okay.
Good point.
All right. So the wizards relay the reply. What danger is there? I thought Shadow was dead. Brother in Kuche assisting new mayor.
Nothing about the stone.
Doesn't mention anything about the stone. A moment later, Ore, you get the message from Zamza. Stone
cool.
still working. Please confirm you are Ore.
And as we discussed before we started this, this is where you tell him that that's not. It wasn't Shadow's head; it was his brother's head. And yes, we do have the stone.
Perhaps we can be more diplomatic in our reply than that. Your brother may be compromised. Shadow confirmed not killed
That's his brother's head. That's not
by
maybe.
evidence.
I think
Before we
he's
convey bad
compromised.
news, perhaps before we convey the bad news, establishing the security, which we've done, allows him to make decisions clear-headed.
Well, you have to respond to him instantly through the stone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or use your message to respond later.
I would reply back as the initial reply. Yes, this is Ore. Establishing intel. Will reply shortly. And then we'll go back to discussing how to send a message to him of I don't believe his brother's death would put him in the correct mindset to make informed decisions.
Yes, but if his brother is
Letting him
dead
know
and
his
was a close
operative,
agent,
letting him know the agent aspect of his brother has been compromised is the dutiful approach.
there is a
Upon
distinct difference
security,
between compromise and death, though. Because being compromised means you can get out and you're no longer an asset. Being dead means not only were you compromised, but you were compromised and caught.
but it has a lead to someone pretending to be his brother. We may still have the ability to use that to discern additional intel or locate
I
the
feel like
culprits
lying.
of this.
I feel like lying or not, or intentionally excluding the fact that his brother is dead and someone is pretending to be him, is a completely different conversation than his brother is compromised and he believes that is still
Yeah.
his brother alive.
That's not
And
your brother.
especially, yeah, all of the information that we have been getting from his brother has been wrong the entire time,
We
which
have no
means
idea
everything
how
is
long.
compromised.
Yeah, we have no idea how long his brother was alive. We have no idea what the actual situation might be in Kuche unless they have additional operatives that aren't compromised. Yeah, it's really sad his brother's
Ore
dead.
extends his hand. Ore extends his hand with the stone in it out to you. I may not have the capacity for that level of interpersonal relationships.
Okay.
Please.
We've technically used the stone, right?
No.
No. Okay, so
No, we
then I
just
will.
replied to on the stone.
Okay, that's right. So, after a quick check, does anybody have any additional information beyond we want to convey your brother is dead? Someone is interpreting or impersonating him. Information from Kuche may be entirely false.
Mm-hmm.
We have your brother's head.
That sounds like a threat.
No.
Just saying.
Hold on. We have your brother's head was
Sadly.
disguised as shadows. With powerful magic. And then information from Kuche likely compromised. Unknown extent of breakdown.
That's 21 words.
Seek safety.
Yeah, seek immediate safety. Trust no one.
That's too many words.
How
You would,
many words
you would
is
end
it?
with trust. You're at 24 with seek safely immediately at the end of the message. So it's we have your brother's head, was disguised as shadows with powerful magic. Information from Kuche likely compromised. Unknown extent of breakdown. Seek safety immediately.
Okay, instead of your brothers, can we just say we have whatever his brother's name?
Do we know his brother's name?
You can ask Marble, but you guys do not have it.
We will ask Marvel what his brother's name is. And we
Uh,
can cut a word there.
Marble kind of stumbles and goes, Lucky, but maybe not so
There's going to
anymore.
be a wince. So we have Lucky's head. And then we'll add trust no one at the end.
Lucky elude as shadows remains.
So we have Lucky's head was disguised as shadows with powerful magic. Information from Kuche likely compromised. Unknown extent of breakdown. Seek safety immediately. Trust no one.
Seems great. We're only a couple months away.
All right. At this, you get the reply, and it comes Mickey will take me to safety. Will be returning to mainland as quickly as possible.
I'm glad we didn't try and beat around the bush.
Mickey Sadzi, Miki, is Zamza's personal guard.
He's fancy guard. And if they're
Okay, so-
compromised, we're already screwed.
They are the Golden Shields.
Yeah, if the golden shields are compromised, we are so past our capability to handle any of this that it doesn't matter at that point. We just have to assume that they're okay.
Yeah, if the Golden Shields are compromised, you're in a room with compromised people.
We are basically at the minimum level of trust. We have to trust this group of people in particular.
Well, let's hope it's not an ill-placed trust.
All right. So drinks now.
Yeah, Agile
And-
has already returned with the drinks.
Yeah, and then I guess we'll talk about what do we need to do, if anything.
So looking around and just kind of off into the void as he speaks, Marble goes, "There's something different about your group. We noticed it immediately, which is why we offered you the chance to go and do this quest."
What's it that you noticed was different?
Your beautiful mustache and beard.
There's an aura about you. Well, Agile tells me so anyway. He believes that you will play an important role. He
Or I
said
will
that's
look at
why he
Ito.
saved Sadzi the first day they met.
Yeah, or I will look at Ito and then look back at, is it Agile? Who?
So Marble is the one speaking, but Agile is the one that
Right, but
was referenced.
gotcha. So I'll look back at Agile. Does our new acquaintance also have that aura?
Agile takes a moment, looks Ito up and down.
Ito is visibly nervous in this process.
And then just nods.
I'll look
Zeki
at
also
Ito.
probably looks nervous during this process, given the ring.
Or I will look at Ito and say, you very well may be a Minotaur after all.
At which point,
Ito,
everybody
Ito
not in your
splutters
party just
slightly.
kind of gives the weird, huh, look at you. Like,
Ito is spluttering slightly, mildly annoyed that it was still in question.
With
also
that,
in his
after
heart
everyone kind
appreciative.
of like has a little bit of a reaction, Ora is going to do a little ha ha. Perhaps it's
Zeki
not the correct time, and then just shut up.
Zeki will raise his glass to that. So, we've got magical special auras. Apparently, we can use them with the help of some outside force to overcome powerful illusion magic. That's good.
It would
What's
certainly convey the visions have merit.
Yeah, don't like that. What's the plan?
Ito is also going to speak up at this point because the whole things speaking in his head thing, y'all have been dealing with this already. He's new to it. So, is the whole voices in the head like part of the aura deal?
Probably. We don't. There was no instructions really. It just sort of started happening. So far, it seems to have been helpful to us. Maybe I would say don't put too much faith in it, but don't ignore it.
Put all your faith in it. It isn't
And
let us
Deal's
wrong
over here
yet.
like I have already started a church.
That's just your goddess doesn't talk to you.
My
Well-
goddess doesn't usually sound like me when she talks to me. Just say it.
This is a bit new to me too, because I don't have a god or a goddess. So this whole voices in the head thing is it's a bit odd.
Hey, whether you believe in them or not, they believe in you.
Good, that makes one of us.
Thank you, camp counselor.
And so, as you are having this conversation and asking what's next, Marble just kind of shrugs and he goes, "You can go as you wish. We would appreciate the assistance in hunting down Shadow, but we understand if you don't feel you are capable, given everything that has happened."
I mean, I sort of swore a partial soul binding pact that I would defeat and kill him, so I'm for it.
And he goes,
Is there any additional information?
"Additional information? Not in
On
regards to
Shadow?
Shadow. However, there was one request we were going to give you in person once you got back. Um, well, it's not a request per se." And he pulls out a piece of paper and he hands it to Sadzi. It's an invitation. Counselor Harrington was very interested in you, Sadzi, and asked that you come and pay him a visit when you got an opportunity.
Thank you. I will see
Which
when
one
I
is
can
that?
be available.
DM question. Which one is Harrington?
Yeah,
Uh,
'cause I'm confused.
Harrington
From
is from the nation of Harrington.
Oh, well, that's easy.
Yes. So it is Counselor Duke Harrington, the ninth, I believe. Let me double check that. Um,
We do need a notes channel. I have notes and stuff. I just don't write stuff down good enough.
yeah, he is Duke von Harrington the ninth.
Okay.
Is he human?
He is
or is he another
human.
race?
He sounds human.
And Duke is his name, not his title. His title is Counselor.
Oh lord, this is like the kid I knew in elementary school whose name was Judge.
Is he aware of this irony, do you think?
Was it
Foley.
was it Von Harrington?
Yeah, Duke
Yeah,
von
Duke
Harrington the
von
ninth.
Harrington. Of the
Duke Von
nation of
Harrington the
Harrington.
Ninth. That's great.
Counselor of Harrington.
Yep.
Third in line for the white staff. All right.
Does
Is that
any
is
of
that a
your
trick for
wizards
Satsi? Yeah, go ahead.
does any of your wizards have the ability to scry or locate Shadow? Now
Uh,
that you have his visage from the head.
They would need a bit more than that. They need to be familiar with him. They could certainly try with just a description, but there is no guarantees.
Does
Going back.
anyone have the ability to produce an image of him?
I can cast minor illusion now.
Going back a second, real quick, does Counselor Von Harrington have an office in Drusus?
No.
So I would have to go to him.
Yes.
Probably read the letter, I guess, and decide from there. Though, okay, so for the shadow thing, I can cast minor illusion, and with Elandiel's guidance, do you think we could maybe get a reasonable image?
Yeah, you could.
Let's try for that. I mean, it's better than just us going like, well, he's kind of yay tall, and he.
Okay. All right. So you give your description and make your illusion.
I cast guidance if that does anything. I don't think it does, but
No, because it's Shadow makes a save, but
Yep.
the information modifies what he gets on his save.
I will cast guidance on whoever wizard they get to try and scry.
Yeah, that's what we were just saying, is that wouldn't matter anything because they
Yeah.
make a save. It doesn't, guidance doesn't help.
We can't negative guidance the guy making the save.
So, okay. So a moment goes by as the spell is cast. I guess it takes 10 minutes to cast scrying. And at the end, the spell fails.
Not entirely surprising, given that the regular mages couldn't overcome the magic of the illusion on the head.
I can recall Shadow's outfit from when 21 days ago he attacked us in the bunker of the Knoll headquarters, town hall basement.
It has been 35 days because it was 21 days on the boat and then 2 weeks on the carriage.
Right. So, do I remember any discerning gear or outfit that he was wearing?
So he didn't wear anything flashy or obvious, fairly common clothes. Nice, but nothing that would stand out in a crowd.
And no trinkets or buttons or equipment.
No,
Because he used fiery blade against me, but that was a spell. That wasn't an actual weapon, right?
correct. Everything he used was magic.
Okay.
So, what would you all like to do now? You have your opportunities to head back to the wild as you had requested. See if you can't go hunt down Shadow. You have a letter, Sadzi, that you could open up and read and inquire.
Sure. Let's see what that is, and maybe we can figure out who needs to go where.
All right. So, Sadzi, you open up the letter and begin to read. And so it's addressed to you. And it goes, I am Duke von Harrington the Ninth, Counselor of the nation of Harrington. I noticed you as you were being given your mission to go and deal with the gnolls. As I watched, I noticed there was something special about you, a condition you are trying to hide. We know quite a bit about it. If you would like to know more, come, visit us in our nation, and we will discuss it thoroughly with you.
Um. So, is this Von Harrington guy like the Godfather? Because I think he's making me an offer I can't refuse.
I mean, his name's Duke.
Well, it sounds like it would be wise for me to go visit him. Probably with at least one other person, just in case something happens.
You need a safety person.
Yeah.
Where is the Kingdom of Harrington, or the Nation of Harrington?
So the nation of Harrington is on the west side of the Hand of the God Mountains. So from Drusus, you could head south till you get to the mountains and just stay on the west side. However, you may want to avoid Typhon's Folly if you go that way. It's not a pleasant place to be. There are rumors abound of mysterious disappearances, yet people in the hamlets decide they love it there for whatever reason.
So we don't have a way to like teleport to near his place.
Uh, we do not know the sigils for Harrington. He's very private, does not like others to know. His wizards are the ones that will open the circle when he visits. He always brings them and they send him home.
Do we have a
Well,
way to send him a message?
yeah, see if he'll come pick us up.
We'll reach out.
Also, is there any opportunity for some of your magic users to be able to send us to the wild without having the burden of time of ocean travel?
I guess the question right now is, do we want to pursue, or are we able to pursue whatever it is that Sadzi's after? Or is this something Sadzi has to do alone, which hopefully we'll find out if we get some communication back.
All right. So, Ore, in answer to your question, and you get the response, you informed us at one point on your journey that there was a teleportation circle in one of the bases. If you wrote down the inscriptions that mark the address of that circle,
We did.
we could send you there.
We
Oh,
specifically wrote that down.
yeah. Here you go.
We had Elendil sit there for a while, literally drawing it.
And they go, this is very useful. We can send you back now. However, given what you told us, there is no guarantee that it is a safe arrival point.
It seems like one of those like arrive and immediately cast Thunderwave.
I would like to see if a Temple of Arnwale has an amulet of devotion that I might be able to procure before we leave Drusus.
With that being said, I was informed that you would reimburse us for expenses along our travel.
We front loaded you the money for that.
HR has declined your
Understood.
request.
Yep.
However, there is the issue of payment for successful completion of your mission.
We are terrible adventurers. We forgot to ask about
We
that.
actually complete the mission though.
Technically, yes. All objectives were completed.
Our
successfully.
initial mission, yes, we did.
Yeah, your mission was just to investigate and report back.
We did a great job investigating.
Yeah. You only
Hey, we did.
And to essentially stop the unrest. It may not be exactly what we wanted, but it did stop the unrest.
The unrest has been halted.
At least temporarily.
For roughly 1 day, yeah.
We're so bad at this.
All right. At this point, Marble pulls out a coin pouch and hands it over. Who takes it? Because you guys really haven't kind of established a leader. You kind of all.
Elendil carries the group's money
Okay.
I carry the money in the bag of holding.
and the bag
so
of holding. So
All right.
he's kind of in charge of stuff.
So, Alondiel, you take the money.
Because of the people that might be robbed, he's one of the two that is likely to notice.
Okay. So it has 2,500 gold pieces in it.
Wahoo! Shopping spree.
I can spend over half of that on a single set of armor.
You could, in theory, if the group would let you.
I mean, so we've got a request for an amulet of devotions. Do we have any idea how much that might cost?
An amulet of devotion?
sorry, Amulet of the Devout.
Devout.
A +1 is uncommon.
Okay.
The cleric +1 to saves.
All right.
Yes.
Just a sec here. Let me see how much that would be.
And a +2 is a rare.
Yes. Magic item costs. So yeah, so you for 450.
For the +1?
For the
or...
+1.
Okay.
At 2,500 gold, everybody gets 500.
True, that's an easy way of doing it. The easiest and probably fairest. So how much did you say that Amulet of Devotion was?
450.
450. Okay. So I'll use 450 of my 500.
Okay.
We'll just divvy it up 500 apiece.
All right. If anybody else wants to get anything, just message me and we'll get it figured out.
I have no idea, so I'll have to figure out what I might want.
Yeah,
Good to
I figure it'll take you guys some time to figure out
Yeah.
now that you've gotten some money.
So
So-
I think right now our biggest things are, right, we've been paid, which is good. We forgot about that.
Mhm.
We've conveyed the situation.
Mhm.
We seem to have two major options we're considering: going to the wilds, and then Sodzi might be leaving for Vampire Man.
That's two new options. You still have some of your old options that you never fully
let's lay out our
investigated.
options.
So
So
yeah.
go ahead.
So you have your options of, because you were initially looking into the library for information on the gods and the rituals involving the sacrifices of different creatures. You were searching for information on Ayabar initially, as well as a few other of the deities and their descriptions from what you remember from your dream. So that was one thing that you guys had. You were also curious about the temple that you've heard rumors of out in the middle of the wilds, Fertile Blessing.
Brutal's
So
blessing. Yep.
so that's an option that still exists. And then you have Return to the Wilds and Hunt Down Shadow as one of your new options that came up. And then Sadzi just has this letter from Duke von Harrington inviting her to the nation of Harrington to have a discussion. And that's another new invitation that you
Yeah.
have.
And we don't know if that one is a multi-person or if that is just Sudsy.
Mhm.
Yes. Well, hunting in the wilds and looking for the fertile blessing would go well together. So if we're looking at how to complete the
Correct.
most objectives,
It's back to the wild, find Shadow, find Fertile's blessing, solve Mizeki's quest of restoring his land to being fertile. Following that, we could go do Sadzi's thing to reverse her condition. At some point, we need to sit down and talk about what that condition is and feel if that's more prescient than chasing down Shadow. Though I'm personally, Ore's personally, very much invested in going after Shadow hard. But that should be something we sit down and have a conversation in character about.
Sudsy has arthritis.
Ito is also very strongly for killing Shadow.
Yeah, I think we've got a lot for. Who is Liabar?
Ayabar is
Oh,
the
Ayabar.
god who died.
For some reason I spell his name completely
Yeah,
wrong.
chief god, first undead, dead again. Big deal.
Yeah, we should probably check in with the temple folk, see if anything has been happening with that, and maybe see if, because last time we talked to
Yeah,
a
we
temple
left
of a
like
god,
immediately after that
weird
happened.
shit happened. That was with the star people.
And then we did find out more information about that. I would like to check in while we're in Drusus, at least check in
Yeah.
with the temple with Thalia, and then Ayabar, and check on his disciples and see if they have any information on that. The
So
library might be able to provide us more information on Fertile's blessing, and then certainly discuss our other options.
okay, so step one, I guess, does anything happen with Ayabar here that is, or any of the other gods and their followers here? Is like we can ask the counselors
Okay.
or counselor, I guess.
I mean, there are two technically. Marble is here, the Grand
That's-
Counselor,
yeah.
and then Victor.
True. So
So-
we'll ask them if they know of anything that's happened since we sort of left right after.
It was a fairly large catastrophe, and one of the things that we have been looking into while you were off, why we didn't send more to help you, is we were dealing with the chaos that ensued there. You sent us a message almost 2 months ago that there was reason to believe that Ayabar had been killed. We have since confirmed that that is the case. And those who have worshipped him devoutly have repaired his temple, but are lost and looking for additional meaning behind this. We do believe that there is more going on, and we have many resources dedicated to looking into this and how this could happen, but we don't have any additional information than what you provided.
Not great.
We have not received additional information since we were able to make that report.
Yeah. The closest
I will
we have
check
is
with the
the
temple to
insight.
Thalia here. There's a whole region of the city that's just temples, right? Like a temple district.
Yeah, there's a temple district, and pretty much every deity, divine, has a temple here. Some are much larger than others, just depending on how many in the city worship that particular divine. But every divine is represented in some capacity here in Drusus.
Does that include the ones from Ito's homeland? I
Uh,
forget if those carry over.
so they are there. Their names are just unusual to you, but once you start hearing like what they look like, their descriptions and what they do, you're able to match them up pretty quickly.
Okay.
I feel like maybe visit the temple to Ayabar and then the star people, the star person. See if we can learn anything else from them. Convey what we know. See if we get any more divine stuff. I
Okay.
definitely do want
I
to
like
visit
that.
one of the temples to my god while we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Because it's like a pilgrimage and I haven't made one yet.
All right. So you make your way out of the town hall and to the temple district to look into the temple of Ayabar. As you approach, you can tell that the repairs have been completed in the several months since you have been gone. The temple is back in functioning order, but there are no priests standing outside um, as there were before. As you make your way up to the temple steps, you are approached by a half elf. He has brown hair and blue eyes. He wears robes of fine golds and purples, and has various colored gems in a necklace around his neck and around his wrists as well. As he approaches, he calls out, saying, "Are you fellow followers of Ayabar?"
I'm an admirer of
We are interested.
all the divines, but focus primarily in the service of Arenwell, but all reverence due to the passing of Ayabar.
He looks and he nods and he goes, "Very well." And he goes, "My name is Aldier Zakarin. It is nice to meet you."
It is nice as well. Honor to you. How has the temple and how have you fared
I
in these
have
dark days?
fared surprisingly well, given the state of this. I sometimes wonder if he sacrificed himself for a greater cause. As we know, he did that once to bring others to godhood.
Had Ayabar shared any messages before his passing that you're aware of to
Uh,
your temple here or any of his other many in the land?
I am just a patron, not a priest.
Oh, my apologies.
It's understandable. approached you asking outside the temple, so I can understand where the confusion would come from. You said you are a worshipper of Arenwale.
Indeed.
Can you tell me a bit about her?
What knowledge do you already have
I
of the fair lady?
believe she is one of your elven deities.
Indeed.
She, as I understood it, worked closely with Ayabar, given she was the goddess of life and death. Is
Cor-
that correct?
that is correct. Yes, she is our great mother. We all return to her presence in due time, to return to her embrace, or to be met by her justice.
Yes, yes. Do you think that she may have anything to do with the wars and the fighting that caused the death of your previous counselor?
If she was involved, she would definitely have a reason to be so. I will inquire of her and see if she speaks.
So you commune with your deity and she speaks to you.
She has spoken to me before. It was what led me to fully embrace life in her service. I'd always believed in her, um, but her words were a call to action inside of me.
Ah, that makes sense. Tell me, do you know much about the descent between Arenweil and Namatio, the lesser deity? I understand as it is, there has been much fighting between the followers of the two divines. It's
I
causing
am
quite a bit of chaos.
I am recent to these lands. I've spent most of my life out on our island. I have not encountered many um, adherents of the lessers that cause contention with Otter and Whale.
And you see just kind of a look of disappointment in his face as you respond to that. And he turns to the others and he goes, "Do you all also worship Arenweil?"
I do
Nope.
not.
Nope, definitely don't.
Mizeki's gonna raise his hands and shake them and go, no, 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 no. I pray only to the great goddess Maquette.
Hmm. The goddess of
I am a
tax
disciple.
evasion. Many a criminal follow her, use it as a justification to not pay their taxes.
Many a
Causes
fool do many dangerous things.
a lot of problems, a lot of infighting. Do you think she condemns this? Or do you think she approves?
I believe that in the end she has dominion over the things as they come to a close. What happens in between is up to us.
I am a disciple of Thalia, the Star Mother. And Ori will look to the sky to see if the moon is out.
The moon is out. You can see it up in the sky. The sun is still out, though. Oh, so it's not shining brightly
Right,
to where
daytime
you can
moon.
see the moon, but you can see where the moon is in the sky.
Okay.
And he turns to you and he goes, "Have you learned to read the stars yet?"
To a degree.
He goes, "Do you know about Ura, the many hours, and Z and Zin, and their relationship with the Star Mother?"
Do I?
Do I? That's how I feel so often.
That is out of game. That's a meta question to the DM. Do I know about these characters? These additional divines?
So you would know about the divines. They're ones that you would have heard of, especially Ura. Ura is another one of the greater divines. Ura is more formally known as the Many Hours. And then Z and Zin are lesser divines. Their names you may have heard of, but they are twins. They're human, and they are the goddess of the morning and evening.
Oh yeah, I'm sure Ore would have known a little bit about those two.
Goes, there is often fighting over who is truly the goddess of the night, whether it is the Star Mother who placed the stars in the sky, or Ura, who is over every hour of every day, and Zin, who is over every evening of every night. How do you feel about this? Do you think Thalia enjoys the fighting?
It is my belief that she does not. The divines hold their divination securely. Any infighting is petty and possibly that of the will of the people who follow them. I don't believe the divines have that capacity to be lesser. Thalia has her place in the heavens. Again, looking back up to the moon. I don't believe that she would participate that way.
Do you believe she has the power to stop it, though?
I have not given thought to this idea. I will reflect on it.
As you should. And he turns next to Sadzi. And what about you?
What about me? I don't follow the gods.
Hmm. Some may say you are the smartest of them all. Some may say you are the dumbest of them all. What do you think of all the fighting that happens over the different deities and religions?
I see where people hold a lot of differing opinions and that it's very important to them.
Wise words.
Out of character, let me say that I really can't say anything without using a whole bunch of expletives, so I know you're trying to keep this like PG-13.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, PG-13. So
Sadzi has opinions.
Many of them. And we would
They're
be here until
strong.
tomorrow.
I mean, hey, PG-13 allows one F-bomb.
Listen here, Jerky. I don't need your religious flim flam. We just want to go to the food court at this point. Thank you. We'll take your literature with us and quickly deposit it into the
You
trash for you.
jive.
and
I feel like. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. Then lastly, he turns and looks at Ito. What about you?
I do not worship this god. I have never been a large one for worshipping the gods, regardless. I believe in a few of them, believe in most of them, believe some of them are worthy of worship. Um, to each their own, I don't much care.
So similar to your tabaxi friend here.
To an extent, I much more look to history for inspiration than the gods. The gods have given good histories, though.
Ah. So, what do you know about the Kingslayer then? What do you think of his actions?
Out of character. Oh boy.
Yeah, your character wouldn't really know anything about the Kingslayer, so
Out of character, did anyone fill him in, or did they just leave it at don't talk about it?
We left it at don't
Because
talk about it, I'm pretty sure.
yeah,
Yeah,
because
we were just
last
like,
we
hey,
talked about it, they just said don't talk about the king thing. If someone brings it up, duck and run.
Zeki will pop in with Ito has been in seclusion and traveling quite often lately.
well, it's not like the Kingslayer is recent. Given your age, you should have grown up knowing about the Kingslayer.
I come from a relatively small village. We we didn't hear much of the histories from outside. We had our own sort of stories to tell.
Interesting.
It's okay. He's been in like a cult, so he hasn't heard a lot of what he should. So we're trying to educate him.
And where is your village at? I would be interested in visiting such a place.
Out of character. Oh boy.
Just point south
um,
and just say, keep going.
it is well, really, I've been following these people for a while. I don't actually know the direction from here. Um, I
I
how
am
would I give directions there?
quite familiar with most of the continent. I have done quite a bit of traveling in my day. If you just tell me the city that you are from, or the city that it is near, I can perhaps find it on my own.
I hmm. I unfortunately do not actually know the name of the town. It is well, it had many names, and I don't really know which one they would like me to use. Um, I
Well,
don't. I frankly never really left it until recently, so I don't know what was near it because I just kind of got lost and found this group. I'm going to be going now. And Ito tries to leave.
uh, he goes to speak and he goes, any of. But as you're just kind of walking away, it just fades. And
I'm sorry, why do you inquire with us about our religious predilections?
I am a knowledge seeker. I like to gather information and learn what other people think. People are interesting if you give them the chance. You can learn a lot just from talking to people and getting their opinions.
I have come to this conclusion as well. You may do well at the Iotopia Society Hall of Records. That's very informative information there.
I am well aware.
Excuse me, I have to join. I'm going
It's
to
just
join
like,
my friend now, but it was a pleasure talking to you. And then Ore is going to walk away as well.
Mizeki still plans to go into that temple in front of him.
Okay.
So he's going to do that and look to Elendil. think we wanted to speak with the clergy.
Yep.
And
It
Sadzi
was a
didn't walk
pleasure
away
talking
yet,
to you.
right? So Sadzi going in with you?
No, I'm following them, but I'll just wait outside the door of the temple.
Okay. All right.
I might light it on fire or something if I walk in.
So
We don't know.
I've just wandered off.
I'm assuming that's where we were all walking into, was heading into the temple. Like, so when walking away from him, like walking into the
Oh,
temple as well.
Mhm.
I think Ito
Or
just
did
ran
Ito
away.
like walk away?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
Ito walked away.
Ito panicked and left.
Yeah,
Goodbye.
Ori would have been heading back into. Like, that was our original goal, was to go into the temple.
Yeah, I thought you said you were going after Ito, though. That's why.
I think he thought that
I
Ito was
assumed
going
Ito
into
was
the
heading
temple
into the
too.
temple when he was walking away.
Got it. Okay, so you're letting Ito wander off into town he doesn't know by himself. Perfect.
He can, if he can't find the giant temple, that's on him.
Come back.
I will message him silently and be like, "We're going inside the temple. You shouldn't go far alone."
Ito
It's his
nods.
senior year. He's sightseeing in Paris.
Ito probably just responds something to the effect of, "I'm finding a bar."
All right. So you enter into the temple as you go, and Sadzi, I guess, stops at the threshold. You see that there are a few people in here just kind of mulling about, but no priests in sight.
I'll approach a person and ask them if any priests are in today.
They turn and look at you and puzzle, and they go, "Are you not aware of what has happened? There are no more priests."
What are you doing here then?
We are looking around and paying our respects.
Cool.
Presume we're not aware. What do you
Do
mean
they
by
have large
no more
bags with
priests?
clanky metal?
Yeah, he's stealing it.
So as you ask that, they reply, "Well, Ayabar is gone, and so the priests have also gone, since he is no longer able to answer them, give them any of his power. There are no longer priests of this temple."
Do you know if they moved on to any other temples or if they all just retired?
I understand that some of them are investigating other temples and deities that they may choose to go to. I hear the name of Arnweil being thrown out a bit, given that she works so closely with Ayabar. But other temples, they wouldn't go to another one of his because he is gone.
Yep.
Um,
Dark times.
yeah. So as you go and walk around the temple, you notice that there are small bags and notes left kind of everywhere along the wall, all and floor of the temple.
I read a note, the one that's closest.
It appears to be just a simple offering and a prayer of respects to the loss of Ayabar.
I'll leave a note.
Okay.
Written in Celestial.
I will do the same as well.
In Celestial as well?
Yep.
My note would be written in Sylvan.
Okay. All right. So, what would you all like to do, given that there are no more priests in this temple? There are offerings all around the temple.
It's free real estate.
I think Ito and I would like to go find a bar.
I mean, obviously, you don't steal from the gods, even if they're not there to catch you. I
Mhm.
feel like is a good
Yeah.
rule of thumb.
Don't nobody take any of this stuff in my sight.
Um,
So, like, do we want to meet up tomorrow? I want to hang out at my temple, um, for the amount of time we have left. But I also want to get back on the road potentially fairly quick to help with the shadow stuff. So if you guys are heading to a bar, I'm fine hanging out at my temple tonight.
Right.
And if we just meet up at like the library tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and Sadzi, you can easily retrace your steps back to the Shining Moon Inn where you stayed for the festival.
Mm-hmm.
So that could be where you take Ito for your bar. So
I probably should
Okay.
visit the temple to my god at some point.
okay, yeah. So you definitely can do that.
I feel like we're well in far over our heads, and I don't know what to do.
Okay.
Swim
Ore's going
deeper.
to do the same and follow. Ore's going to do the same and follow Mazeki out. As Mazeki is exiting, Ore's going to walk up and put his hand on Mazeki's shoulder and say, "I just want you to know, Thalia is with you as well." And I'm going to cast on him Vigilance Blessing. You have advantage on your next initiative roll.
Nice.
How long does
Wait,
that
what kind
last
of
for?
And
it doesn't have a
it doesn't
duration, does
say
it?
until I cast it again on somebody else or until it's used.
Are you
So
Twilight?
his next initiative roll, yeah, Vigilance Blessing.
Nice. Yeah. That one is it's just literally
And
a permanent effect until it's used or it's replaced, yeah.
until it's used, or until I do it to somebody else.
Yep.
And with that, I'm going to look for the Temple to Thalia.
Okay. All right. So you're going to the Temple of Thalia. Mizeki's going to the Temple of Maquette. And Alandiel's going to the Temple of Aranwal.
Mm-hmm.
And Ito and Sadzi are getting drunk.
The temple of
They're
the
good.
tequila god.
Yeah, well, we'll start the night by worshipping the god of tequila, and we'll end the night worshipping at the throne of the porcelain god. You know, it works out.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place for us to end, with you all going to your various temples and places of worship. And we can pick up next week with you all reuniting in the morning after your
like a
various
plan.
visits. Over the next week, go ahead and look if you want to do any shopping and let me know, and we'll get that taken care of. If you have any questions specific about what you find in your temples, go ahead and message those to me as well, and we'll get them answered in the next week.
Okay.
Rega is supposed to be joining us again starting next
Yay!
week, so we will see them again. I've got to double check that they're making it next week. Now that I've kind of promised everybody, they better.
Yeah, I'm going to be very disappointed if you've lied to us.
It's possible that I have lied to you. They were supposed to be out all of October, and then they were only actually out one of October, but I had already written 7 out of the story. And so it's just like, I can get you back in November. And I'm like, but we're only playing 1 week in November before we break until December. And so he's like, we'll just wait until December, but he couldn't make today. So
Well, hopefully he can make next week. That'd be good.
hopefully the 11th, Rega will
It'll
be
be nice to
back.
have another party member.
Yeah.
Do we know if Rega will be playing Sephin?
Rega is probably not playing Sephin. That was why we kind of wrote him out of the story. It just also kind of coincided with the fact that Rega was going to be gone for most of October.
Mm-hmm.
But he had been struggling with getting into the role-playing aspect of Sephin since the campaign started and wanted to experiment with some different characters. So we've been talking over a few different options. I don't know if he's fully decided on which one, and so we'll see when Rega joins us again. But thanks everybody for coming out and for hanging out with us. I felt like that was a good episode. I expected a bit more outrage at the shadow revelation than what actually happened. So that's good.
I think we're all just
It's
in
gonna
shock
it's gonna
from
come. Yeah.
finding it being somebody else's head.
Yeah,
Just think about it.
I expected
been
shock
God is
followed by
dead.
immediate outrage.
It's been God is dead. Also, we've proven that God is dead. Also, everyone wants to murder you. Also, the guy that you thought might have been the problem is not dead, and his brother of your friend is dead. There's a lot of people dying right now.
Yeah.
Very concerning.
This has been a very fun story to write about what's going to happen, and it's been very interesting to see how you guys have started uncovering pieces.
I don't like it.
It's
I mean,
also
I love playing it, but I don't like experiencing it.
I'm also loving the turnaround's fair play on the head thing.
Yeah,
What do
Yeah.
you mean?
we
The fact that we used their heads for things,
Oh yeah.
and then they just come back and do that.
So
I am very concerned that the counselors don't appear to have any form of secure communication.
Yeah, I feel
Are
like we
these
need
the
to be
people that our
bullying them
tax
about
dollars
that.
have been supporting?
I
We
mean,
need to
it's
bully them about this.
it's not like they have like multi-level of encryption with this stuff.
right, but
Yeah,
I
they at
mean,
least have a password.
there's also the fact that when they're using their wizards to communicate back and forth instead of the magic items, that is security in and of
Yeah,
itself.
it's true. It's
Yeah.
specifically targeted.
Because that's a specific target. It's the sending stones where you can't really add that level of security,
Yeah.
and it's something that they, it just didn't occur to
They're
them
aware
because
of. Yeah.
why would you need that, right?
Because that's not your brother's head.
Yeah,
Or it is
well,
your brother's head.
now they know
Now we
that.
know.
So
We're like in
it's
a
one of
weird
those
version of
things
the
where
FBI.
people don't think about potential
Yeah.
things like that until it comes
You
up.
don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. So, but I'm gonna go ahead and stop the streaming. So
Yeah.
there's some insight for everybody into where the campaign is going and how everything is happening. But we will catch you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.